Food is not only a physical need for people, but a fundamental human right inherent to everyone. Just like all other human rights, it is based on the principles of universality, equality and participation, and it is indeed an inalienable right. In other words, one which no one can be forced to relinquish.
Porque todos los países del mundo, ¿no es cierto?, hemos suscrito los convenios internacionales de los derechos humanos. Y el derecho a la alimentación adecuada es parte de esos derechos humanos. Por tanto, nosotros en el marco de los derechos humanos y en el marco del derecho a la alimentación adecuada, podemos plantear y reivindicar ante otros países que nos dejen implementar nuestras propias políticas para solucionar los temas de la alimentación.
According to the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and of his family, including food. All states are obliged to respect, protect and guarantee the right to food of their citizens and those of other countries. The right to food requires food which provides enough nutrients for correct physical and mental development in various stages of life, and suited to the social, economic, cultural, climatic and ecological conditions in a particular place and time. Accordingly, families must have the chance to feed themselves directly, by farming land or through other natural sources of food, or by buying such food as they need, without hampering their access to other services which are considered basic, such as health or education. At the 1996 World Food Summit, an action plan was devised to halve the number of hungry people in the world by 2015. The summit evidenced a change in attitude, but despite the commitment, the fact is that the number of hungry people has actually increased since 1996. 4 years later, in 2000, the United Nations Assembly approved the Millennium Declaration, which comprised 8 objectives to be reached by 2015. These are known as the Millennium Development Goals. The first of these goals is to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, but we are far from reaching that target.
Por tanto, se plantea también la necesidad de una redistribución de la renta nacional y a la vez, ¿no es cierto?, una redistribución de los recursos naturales que fundamentalmente favorezcan a los más pobres.
Hunger is both cause and effect of poverty. So any strategy to combat poverty must necessarily involve eradicating hunger. In November 2004, the FAO approved a set of guidelines for the steady realization of the right to adequate food. These voluntary guidelines were drawn up with the involvement of civilian society and were devised as a practical tool based on human rights to help states in designing national strategies to fight hunger. The voluntary guidelines include aspects such as international aid, implementing economic development policies to combat the causes of hunger and poverty, and implement changes in market systems and international trade policies. In short, the idea is to create an environment that is propitious to the realization of human rights. In September 2003, the Right to Food Urgent campaign was launched by Prosalus, Vets Without Frontiers, Cáritas, and Engineering Without Frontiers, The campaign is aimed at attaining effective recognition of the right to food for all people. The campaign's 3 proposals are as follows: effective right to food within the framework of a food sovereignty policy, governments assuming the responsibility for protecting and guaranteeing the right to food as a fundamental human right, a review of policies or agreements in place among the international community to uphold the right to food. There is no doubt that food is the most harmful manifestation of poverty, the most humiliating for whoever suffers it and also for whoever tolerates its existence. Food is a recognized fundamental human right for everyone, but not everyone can exercise it. In a world of unprecedented economic development, we are far from attaining the goals set for 2015. Political will must become action.
Cosa, camioncito, cosa. Fluye, libérate.
Pero voy a grabar encima de todo lo que ya está. Gracias, Pachamama. O busco un espacio donde esté. Gracias, Pachamama.
Ya sabes, Daniel. A Felipe también y a todos de cola porque ese guauito es